Me. It's a pleasure to show you the example of Austria. And I want to come back to what Dimitri said, that every country is developing these food promotion policies and quality management programs based on the historical context. Of course, you know, Austria is known for a beautiful landscape. It's a tourism country. But the historical context we had was that in 1995, we were entering the European Union, and up until then, the Austrian food industry and agriculture was highly protected. It was a different world compared to nowadays, where we have free trade and open borders. But this was the pain, and there was a lot of fear in the Austrian food industry and agriculture if we could be competitive in the European Union and on a global scale. If you look at the Austria's export story, it's a success story. Since 1995, our exports have increased by more than 5 times. Yeah. So, and one of these reasons is we believe that Austria chose to found this agricultural marketing Austria organization. And before I go into detail of the concept, the question is, who is paying for it? Yeah. Dmitry talked about the money, and mainly you could say the farmers in Austria and the EU Commission are paying for it. The farmers in Austria are paying by product-related contributions. You see, for example, for sheep, they pay 0.75 euro of 75 cents per piece, or for milk, 3 euro per ton. And with that, AMA can finance all the promotion and marketing activities. They pay for the market research, consumer-based market research. They pay for the cross-media strategies and so on. And they get money from the European Union for co-financing. And the third source would be revenues from licenses and control costs. And there you already see the budget. That is some years ago, there was around 18 million. Now it's around 20 million a year. So the strategic concept behind the foundation of this organization was, first of all, to establish a private marketing company owned by the government. Why a private marketing company? The decision makers in policy said, we want a fast organization, a flexible organization, and we want to have managers there who come from the food industry, who come from food marketing, and who know the business sector. So they wanted to establish an organization with a different culture, not that administration is in a bad state or not good working in Austria. We have good administration, but you know it, it's a different kind of culture. Yeah. So, and with that company, they said they should develop quality guidelines for different production sectors. Those guidelines should be voluntary. There has to be control, third-party auditing. And then based on that, once the quality is established, they would start making promotions to create awareness for the quality labels. So in short, you could say there are 2 main objectives for the marketing company, AMA Marketing. First of all, to strengthen the sales of agricultural products for specific sectors and to promote the food quality. Yeah, to establish food quality, strengthen the sale, and make promotions. They have up to 70 people working for them. And as I said, 20 million euro budget. It means there is some serious money and they can move something. What they have established, for example, they have a household panel with 1,500 consumers where they have every year actual data about what are the consumers buying on the household level. So, quality management. That's the first step if you want to promote national food consumption and if you want to promote exports, because without quality, this will not work. How is it done in Austria? The main tool is to use quality seals. They are a competitive factor and they are based on independent third-party controls. And we have different quality seals. On the left side, you see the quality and Austrian origin quality seal, the AMA seal. On the right side, bio means organic. These are the seals for the organic food producers. And then we even have for artisan food labels, for bakeries, butchers, a quality seal. And in the meantime, also for gastronomy, if they use regional products. That they are successful in what they do, you can not only see from the export numbers, but also from the assessments of the official quality labels, because there is a ranking where they ask consumers, how do you assess the quality of different labels? And the AMA quality seal and the organic AMA quality seal were on position 1 and 2, the European organic seal on position 4, and the others are brand labels from Austrian retailers. So what is the AMA quality seal guidelines? What are they used for? They are used for almost all products on the farm level, on pre-farm and post-farm level. So you see they're reaching from fruit and veggies to broilers, fish, cows, and so on. At the moment, AMA has over 20 quality programs established. And to understand how they are developed, you have to understand they are based on a stakeholder process. This is very important. Whenever they work on new quality guidelines, it's not that the managers from AMA marketing are sitting in their office and say, how could we do it? No, they invite representatives from consumer organizations, farmers, public authorities, NGOs, and start a discussion process. In fact, they have a very clear organizational structure inside AMA marketing, where they say, okay, we have quality management for a specific amount of food categories, and for each we have a quality management steering company. So that would be, let's say, milk. You have a quality management steering company for milk. They develop the guidelines, and in accordance with the expert panels and with the stakeholders. And there you see the farmers again, the processors, so there are dairy companies involved, ministries, retailers, and the social partners. Social partners is a historical thing in Austria. After the Second World War, the Austrian government said, we want a chamber of agriculture, a chamber of commerce, then a chamber of the blue-collar workers, and a chamber of the trade union. The reason was all of them were sitting in prison during the Nazi time, and when they got out, they said we should continue our discussions which we had in prison, and we should make sure that there's not a civil war anymore in Austria, and they find a different way to create laws. Yeah. So AMA is kind of including the social partners, they're very important. And once their quality guidelines are approved by the Minister of Agriculture, they are binding like law. So this is very important. What you have to understand is the guidelines for the quality seals go beyond legislation. So we have the legislation, these are the basic requirements by law from the EU and national bodies. Above it, we have the Austrian Food Codex, the Codex Alimentarius Austriacus, which is going back to our monarchy times. And then on top, we have the AMA marketing guidelines for the quality seals. So what makes them so unique? The core concept is they have to ensure controls of the whole value chain from farm to stable. And I was asked last week when we had the meeting if I could go into detail for a quality seal of sheep production and maybe fruit and veggies when you have enough time. So I picked as the example the quality seal for sheep and goat production. And there you see the 6 steps, which is covering, starting by the feed producer and the feed trader, going to the farmer, milk processing, transport, meat processing, and food retail. And for each step in the value chain, different guidelines or quality seals are responsible. For the feed producer, for example, AMA has developed an own quality label called Pastus Plus, where they define the list of feed producers who are certified and from which the farmers can buy their feed products. Now let's look at the quality sealed sheep and goat farming on the farm level. What does it entail? It entails breeding, fattening, and dairy farming. And the core concept is, concerning the inspections and audit systems, that first the farmer has to follow as internal self-audits Then there are regular external inspections, and then there's or a third check by the auditors, which means that AMA Marketing has people who are controlling the external inspection bodies who are doing the inspections on a farm level. What is the farmer responsible for following during his internal self-audits? Is something like a quality circle, where he should evaluate the keeping of the animals. Is it appropriate? The animal health. Is there qualified animal supervision? So in the guidelines, it says twice a day, you should check the animals. If they need to be trimmed, they should be trimmed once a year. The working hygiene he has to control, and of course, the certified feed which he uses. Important is for the AMA quality seed that the lambs and fawns are born, raised, and slaughtered and processed in the same country, and the milk of the sheep and goats is milked and processed in the same country. So, but you have to keep in mind, if you would establish this origin seal, where you simply say, this is food from Austria, and we want the consumers to only buy food from Austria, that would be against the EU regulations and against the EU law. So you can only establish this if you focus on the quality. And you should know that the AMA quality seal is available for countries in the European Union as well, but it has a different look than it is not red, it's blue. So that means that's the way how you make sure that you follow the EU regulations. There are more guidelines. For example, I picked some like the minimum area requirements in the barn. They are very detailed, defined. How much space should there be for a mother sheep with and without lamb, for young sheep over 6 and between 12 months, and so on. So another important part in this quality program is the transparency. And to make sure that there is a transparency down on the farm level, in Austria we have a unique farm identifier number. This has to be documented. Then the animals have to have an earmark number. There has to be documented the country of birth and the breeding, the birth date, delivery date, and the signature of buyer and sellers in case the farmer is buying animals from another trader or farm. So far, an overview about the quality seal for sheep. Now let's talk about the quality seal for fruits and vegetables. This has been established for 5 value chain steps, starting with the seed material and the plant material and reaching to the retail stores. The agriculture producer is included, of course. The packing house is very important, the distribution center. What is very specific for the AMA quality seal for fruits and veggies is that there is the international standard of the global GAP, and AMA has made sure that we have a national implementation of this global GAP, and the veggie and fruit producers are certified based on an Austrian global GAP production scheme. And then the packing house and distribution center, they are certified based on the AMA seal guidelines. So what does this mean? You have on the farm level annual controls, yeah? And those controls, I forgot to mention, they have to be paid by the farm, and they cost between 200 and 400 euro a year. There's this variation because it depends how much laboratory analysis has to be made. They will make laboratory analysis of the residues, for example. If they are very extended, it's more expensive. I forgot to mention the controls on in the sheep production are only once every 4 years, because the sheep sector is not so big in Austria, and the costs are around 150 to 170 euro per farm. So concerning the packing houses, there are 2 audits per year, and they look at they make an hygiene audit based on the HACCP concept and the traceability audit. And the requirements for those audits on the farm level are, for example, they have to provide documents concerning the seed purchase. They have to provide documents concerning the mass balance. They have to show how much input do we have on the farm and how much output. So to make sure that farmers are not cheating and buying maybe veggies from the, I don't know, cheaper producers, which are not produced under the AMA quality seal and selling them under that seal. So this is an important measure that they make sure there are traceability tests. The boxes on the field which are used for harvest, they have to be labeled, and the same with the boxes on the packing center to make sure that you can always trace the product flow. Yeah, and the same goes for the packing house. There are incoming goods inspections. They look at the product labeling. They also look at the mass balance, again, to make sure that there's no cheating. And the same goes with the retailer, where they look at the level of packaging, is it correct, and so on. And very important in the fruit and veggie sector is that there's laboratory tests, and there are unannounced inspections to look at isotope analysis and they make pesticides residues. Over a year, AMA Marketing is making 3,000 farm audits, only to give you an experience of the size of the testing and auditing. So then, coming to the end of my presentation, I only want to give you a very fast and a few on some food promotion examples. What AMA Marketing is doing is they're using tools for above the line and below the line communication, like TV, radio, print, but also PR, events, sales promotion. So they really apply what we call a cross-media strategy. And they have very creative strategies, for example, for milk TV spots. There you see an example for print advertising, where they're using this crown. This became like the key visual. When they communicate for dairy, they're using this dairy crown, and they're running food blogs. They are educating on a high school, so-called cheese ambassadors, where they teach children how to see quality of cheese. They go to elementary schools with a milk school luggage, or they put outdoor ads on trams to reach the public audience. Okay, I hope I'm in time.